Hello, hi, welcome to part of a continuation of what we did in terms of um, learning outcomes development. And we went through the next module, which talks about training and assessment strategy. Now, this may create a training and assessment plan that would later help develop assessment. So I'm just showing you a sample of what you can put into planning before you proceed to developing your assessment or questions. Okay, so with me, let's see what we have here. Now, I have something interesting here. Now, if you look at my report here, we have this topic, Introduction to Steam Power Plant. And we want to see how this has been developed to help come up with a good plan or a strategy, or maybe strategies that will help you develop your assessment, aligning with learning outcome appropriately. So, steam power plant. Now you can see how the learning outcome have been aligned, more like what we talked about in development of Bloom's taxonomy. Now picking a few elements. If the first one is identify the processes in an ideal vapor power cycle. So you can see that statement looks more well structured. Then it looks like training methods for this probably trainer, facilitator, or assessor would look at lecture as well as e-learning. The training resources would be PowerPoint slides, online resources, textbook, which are ideal maybe within this particular structure. And of course, on the other hand, assessment methods, your quizzes, your tests or exams. Assessment resources would be probably your online quizzes, test and exam material, templates, as well as stationery. Now, what is interesting, you can now structure your assessment question formats in terms of multiple choice, fill in the gap, of course, labeling, and maybe order question where you align maybe in terms of the processes. All these connected with the learning outcome across. So such a kind of a strategy will put you in a position now to come up with a proper question which you or questions which are aligned with the learning outcome to develop the knowledge and skill provided for you here. So this is some of the element which is very interesting and someone can work with. I like us to look at something else. Let's look at the practical part. Calculate heat and work transfer for Carnot and Lakin power cycles. More of a model in this area relating to this topic. Now, what's there? Now, you can see relevant training methods like demonstration, your discussion, and hands-on practice that could now deal with taking care of the information relating to that learning outcome. Of course, your PowerPoint slides, whiteboard, and solving practice questions in terms of training resources. Your test, your exam, your classroom demonstrations could be practical. We have test assessment, practice questions in terms of take home as well. And of course, something interesting, analytical questions, graphs in terms of different format questions, and of course practical demonstration assessment. Again, these can help you align across when dealing with now the questions that you want and connected with the topics that is provided for you here. All right, so this is the kind of element that are required for you to come up with in terms of the requirement in such kind of a plan structure that is used here. Now, if we can go maybe perhaps to the last aspect, which is now maybe the creativity part. Where are we? So let's see. In this creativity, we have a quite interesting learning outcome. Design an energy efficient coal-fired steam power plant by implementing the appropriate performance improvement measures. You can see how well the learning outcomes are written. And of course, something to do with brainstorming, something to do with hands-on interactive discussion, case study elements, and simulation will bring out the originality and the creativity behind the design of this energy on efficient coal-fired steam plant. Of course, your online resources, textbook, simulation, gadgets, which are very interesting. Computer digits would go now along with the training resources. Of course, a project, report, rubric, as well as we have a presentation could go along away with assessment methods. And then we have your written reports, your oral presentation that will bring out presentation in terms of assessment resources, and of course design specification questionnaire, design drawings, comprehensive report structure, as well as oral presentation. All these could play a role in terms of formulating and planning for those particular questions that you need with different structures, like we had covered a little bit earlier. Now, with this, you can actually see again how you can cut across in designing different structure of the elements provided. Now, this is a simple explanation on how you can lay down your training and assessment strategy, also to build up on a plan before now you start building up your questions and assessment that will help you assess whether the learning outcome have been appropriately achieved. Remember, the goal and the objective of the assessment is to check whether the learning outcomes have been appropriately achieved, meaning have they been maximized so that the participants can get the full outcome of that particular results. I think this does it in terms of explaining your training and assessment strategy. Okay? Fine. Sharp, sharp.